a stand. This is the second handout that's available to you if you want it without Chinese. I promise you'll get it in the PDF. And it's about using your body as the medium. So for instance, if you are wanting to change the subject, you can give visual cues. So if I'm in front of the room and I'm moving from section 1 to section 2, I can say, and moving on in our agenda, then I'm verbally telling you and I'm visually showing you that I'm moving on to another subject. And I'm not going back to that subject. Don't pace. Plant yourself. Don't lock your knees. You can pass out. But what you want to do is feel yourself kind of grounding yourself. And I like to, even if I'm holding papers, because I'm getting away from the PowerPoint, I like to be able to hold my hands to my side so that when I do gesture and talk about moving into the future, it's easy for me to make a bigger point with the gesture and then return it to my side. We call it speaker's pose. If you have a hard time just having your hands at your side, imagine that you've got books in your hand. And just stay there. Don't cover your stomach. No. It looks like there's something to hide, okay? Scan the room. Whether it's another person, you want to engage with them, you want to smile, you want to create that alliance, if you will, and make it easy to have the conversation. Any questions specifically about nerves and what you can do to combat them? Because I could go on for another hour.
I have a question.
Yes?
In terms of presenter's pose, what if you're holding a clicker and so you're standing as such, holding the clicker? Is that still inappropriate?
No, it's not inappropriate, but what I do, I never turn around and look at the PowerPoint unless I just don't have the computer close to me or if I don't have my speech memorized. I go with bullet points and then match them. But if I've got the clicker, I can drop it to my side until I need it to move forward.
So you would still avoid that?
I would still avoid this because, again, it's subconscious. You are blocking your body. You are closing. You want open body position as much as possible. That means not crossing your legs when you're sitting in front of someone like this. Not crossing your legs because you're cutting it off. Not crossing your arms. If you are freezing to death in a room, as you cross your arms, say, it's cold in here, isn't it? And then you are telling them verbally, this is the reason I'm doing this. I'm freezing. They probably are too. So did that answer the question?
Yes.
Yeah. Just drop it to the side as much as you can and then raise it when you have to click. Any other questions? Whoa, okay. Well, let me try. What, Kathy?
Yeah, one more question.
Okay, yes.
Yes. Just a general question.
Mm-hmm.
On the other end of the spectrum, someone who's overly confident, someone who walks into an interview or in a room and their body language is too open and they're a complete opposite of everything that you mentioned. How and where do you find the happy medium for that? Like, how do you know when you're too much?
Do you know someone like this?
Yes.
Okay. Integrity-based communications gives you the model for intervention. And you could say something like, I'm going to go through all 6 behaviors. You know, I've listened to you debrief your interviews and how you're unhappy about not getting any traction. Would you like to have some feedback on what I've observed? Okay? And they say, if they say no, and no. If they don't want to hear what you have to say, then you can't do anything or further. Go, well, yeah, sure, of course I would. Well, when you talk about how you just really buddied up to Tara and started talking about her family, you know, what I have heard is you can get a little bit too intimate too fast. For instance, you don't want to touch people below their elbow on their forearm. You don't want to take advantage of informality because even if it's an informal interview, it's a presentation. So I'm going to suggest that you back off a bit and make it a little bit more formal. How would you like to role play that? You have the opportunity to do that. And so you could be the bad student demonstrating her behavior and let her, no, actually you're probably going to have to let her be the bad student so that you can be the coach. Does that make sense? It's an opportunity to save someone from making a fool of themselves or not ever getting a job. Because if you see that they're doing something over the top and they are a friend and they are coachable, you can help them get beyond.